Yeah, it's not looking very good, especially across places such as Dominica, where 75,000 people live. The storm just made a Category 5 landfall across these islands. And you think about that, we had in Barbuda, about 2,000 people lived across this region. Category 5 landfall was made with Irma. This increases that population by some 35 times. So it really talks about the damage, the potential that's going to be left in place across this region. And, we talk about Puerto Rico. We know much of the evacuees from neighboring islands from Irma actually are settled across Puerto Rico right now because that was one area that was spared the direct hit from Irma. At this point, it is not looking good for them either. And want to show you this because we're talking a healthy Category 5, 160-mile-per-hour winds or 250-plus kilometers per hour. It is pushing over the islands that have about an elevation up to roughly a mile high. So these the mountains here could at least weaken the storm briefly, but you notice it goes right back over the Caribbean across this region, pushes over the U.S. Virgin Islands on early Wednesday morning, and then eventually eastern Puerto Rico Wednesday afternoon as either a Category 4 or a Category 5. Last time we had a Category 5 in Puerto Rico in the 1920s. Last time anything stronger than a Category 4, the 1930s. So we're talking 8 decades, as Aisha just alluded to there, with a storm of this magnitude that at this point looks to be on a collision course with the islands. And something different with the storm than we saw with Irma is the tremendous rainfall forecast with the storm. So not just a wind maker like Irma was, but add in the water element of this, as much as, say, 500 millimeters could come down across some of these islands. Of course, we know a lot of damage left in place, a lot of people living in tents and not having a roof over their head. This is going to be one of the larger stories associated with this, with hurricane warnings now stretching across the St. Kitts and Nevis into the both U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and then eventually on into Puerto Rico. But notice this could be directly over the U.S. Virgin Islands in the early morning hours of Wednesday. Notice there's the British Virgin Islands where we had direct impacts there with Irma. The storm will kind of approach it on a southern periphery, move over eastern Puerto Rico there on Wednesday afternoon, and then eventually towards the Turks and Caicos, which saw a major hurricane landfall about a week ago as well. Look at this intensity increase from 8 p.m. on Sunday, going from about a Category 1, 80-mile-per-hour winds, to doubling that wind speed right now to a healthy Category 5.